Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Today's the last day of the Tory Party Conference, and before you go, we don't want to hear about it. Yes, you do. By tradition, the leader of the party always gives the final speech, and today is no exception. And Rishi Sunak stood there on the podium and gave a speech. And during it, he said something which I was very, very surprised to hear. The convention is you don't normally make personal attacks against other political people, other politicians. It's just not the done thing, kind of thing. However, Mowgli made me laugh. Mowgli's got a sense of humour. Who would have thought it? He had a go at Nicola Sturgeon. And, well, it was really rather good. So we're going to have a look at this article to see what he said. But to be fair, I don't like the man. I think it's the fact he's a non-tax-paying billionaire with a green card so he can sod off that annoys me most. But I will give him his due. It's either him or his scriptwriter has come out with this, and it's definitely funny. Here goes. Right, Rishi Sunak hints that Nicola Sturgeon may go down in brutal taunt about SNP probe. I believe they mean go down as in take him down, going to prison, not going down. Not the other way. That just doesn't bear thinking about. The Prime Minister evoked great laughter at the Conservative Party Conference when he made a joke about the former First Minister's brush with the law due to Operation Branchform. Now, his delivery isn't very good, but he's not supposed to be. He's not a comedian. He is a politician. But what he said was funny. Rishi Sunak evoked great laughter at the UK Conservative Conference when he taunted former rival Nicola Sturgeon and hinted that she may go down. The jibe was directed at the ex-First Minister and the police probe, which is ongoing into the SNP's finances, which we've covered ad nauseum. We've done that. It just mentions there that she was arrested and whatever, but we don't care. The Prime Minister took great delight in taunting his nationalist rival as he boasted that the union is the strongest it's ever been in a quarter of a century, thanks to the work of the Tories. That's what he says. I think it's thanks to the work of the SNP. They've done so much to make the union stronger, because every time they do anything it fails and it's rubbish and it damages, and people look at that and go, no thanks Nick, or now it'd be on your bike Yousaf, because they look at it, they go, this is how bad it is now. Imagine how bad it is when Westminster isn't there to catch us, and so yeah, they're utterly destroying their cause, which is great. Anyway, in Mr. Sunak's first major speech as leader, blimey, words are hard, aren't they? In Mr. Sunak's first major speech as leader to the Conservative Party Conference, and probably his last as Prime Minister, could even be his last as leader, he highlighted that the long-serving Miss Sturgeon had dreamed of becoming the person who broke up the union and won Scottish independence. However, he claimed that she would now be remembered for something else. There is a lot of things she'll be remembered for, none of them good. I'm thinking irons in hotel rooms, as well as other things. Anyway, it was one of his most received aspects of his speech. It was a very dry speech other than that. I did watch it, but it was like, oh, God. Anyway, cringe. Some of it was really cringe. Don't watch it. But I'm going to play the bit where he says this at the back end. So we'll hold on a second. Nicola Sturgeon, he said, wanted to go down in the history books as the woman who broke up our country. But now it looks like she may go down for very different reasons. And as the camera panned the audience, they were in fits of laughter at this gag. You've got to be polite, I suppose. If you'd have actually had a comedian tell it, it would have been even better. But it was still good, and it breaks that convention of not attacking your parliamentary rivals. So, not that she was in the same parliament, you understand, but political rivals. The former First Minister was arrested in June, blah, blah, blah. We don't care. We've done that story. Anyway, Scotland's former top cops in Livingston confirmed earlier this year that the investigation into the SNP had now been expanded to look at alleged embezzlement and misuse of funds, and it's still ongoing, despite starting back in 2021. But when you're buying, £600 pens and laptops for people and motorhomes, all out of party funds allegedly. Got to cover myself. That may or may not have been bought, through embezzling or fraud, possibly. Of course there's going to be questions asked, isn't there? Got to speak like that. Got to cover myself. Don't want to get sued. You know how it is. Officers raided the marital home she shared with Mr. Murrell back in April. Well, at best, it's probably a lavender marriage, isn't it? And the SNP chief executive was arrested and grilled by cops. This happened just weeks after Hamza Yousaf was voted as the new First Minister, in a vote that many, even within his own party, are, I'm sure, regretting. Operation Branchform also led to a raid at the HQ, which we know. And the image of a blue tent in the Uddingston home of the former SNP power couple became an infamous picture. Numerous SNP figures have also commented on the police investigation, including the new chief executive, Murray Foote, ex-journalist and someone who told lies. Unbeknown, we'll be fair to him, he was given the figures by Murrell. Murrell gave him the wrong figures, and he said, these are the figures and that. But anyway, that's there. He's now taken Murrell's job, so he doesn't care. He called it grotesque. Yes, how grotesque is it for the police to investigate alleged fraud and embezzlement on a grand scale by a political party? It's not grotesque at all, is it, Murray? It's perfectly acceptable. It's just you think it's grotesque because you don't want it happening to your party. Unlucky, mate. MSP James Dornan, not Jamie Dornan. The two are very, very different kettles of fish, let me tell you. Also insisted that the press and the police were collaborating to make it seem worse. No, James, it really is that bad. Mr Sunak is not the first leading Tory politician to claim that Scottish nationalism was on the back foot. Aberdeen-born Levelling Up Minister Michael Gove said that it was in retreat and that the Nats were being forced to put independence on the back burner. I believe the woodland folk would like Michael Gove back. They left him by mistake and he was raised as a human. He said the union has been strengthened, adding nationalism is in retreat in Scotland. And it is. Support now is under 40%. It's 30-something percent, might be 39% or whatever. But it's in the 30s. And it's not been there for an awful long time. And as time goes on, it's getting further and further away. And people just don't care. People are growing up. They realise that you need to be strong and you need to be in the union to be strong and to have the safety net. A larger nation always does better than a smaller one. Mostly. There are exceptions. Switzerland, not saying how you got your wealth. Nazi gold, Nazi gold. But, it's one of those things, isn't it? But generally, a larger nation is more secure. It's got a bigger economy. And Scotland would be too small going into a modern world. It wouldn't help it. But this isn't an economics lesson. So there we go. Well done. Now, you want to see him? I do it. It is only a short clip. Now, like I say, I couldn't get this because I've got a VPN, which you should have. I'm not selling them. I'm not advertising them, but you should really have a VPN. It does cover you and protects you. But because I've got it and where I'm particularly set, I can't load this video for some reason on this site. So I went to the Independent and I nabbed the video off the Independent. So I'll put it on here and you can see Rishi and then we'll come up. But no, we'll do this and then I'll come up after the video. Here's the video.
Our union is the strongest it has been in a quarter of a century. The forces of separatism are in retreat across our country. Nicola Sturgeon wanted to go down in the history books as the woman who broke up our country, but it now looks like she may go down for very different reasons.
Well, if anything, it's a good end to his speech. So well done, Rishi, I got to say. And of course, we'll all have a little laugh at her expense. But genuinely, I would like to see that woman in a jail cell, doing some time, and concentrating on thinking about where it all went wrong. Never mind. We all have our wants and desires, don't we? Thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well. And yeah, if you see a chance, stick the boot in. Bye.